Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Boom Rookies with Grub, presented by ESPN. Coming at you live from the Grub Hub for the last time in 2025. My co-host today, Josh Reynolds. Hello.
Hello, mate.
What's doing?
Oh man, what a weekend!
What a great weekend!
What a game! Still can't believe it.
The men's game lived up to the hype. The women's game lived up to the hype as well.
Wasn't what I thought.
No, definitely not. But
we got the images.
Oh yeah, it's coming later. But
I just cannot believe it.
Just a fantastic doubleheader, and the Warriors winning the reserve grade Super Bowl by 1 million points. But again, I don't know if that game is long for this world. But it's nice to have 3 games.
It's nice to have 3 games, but there wasn't really a competition.
No, not really.
like at all.
And I don't blame the Burley players either.
Mate, honestly, the last thing you're thinking about is playing there. And people speak about exposure, and don't get me wrong, yeah, it's good for the boys, but their minds aren't there.
No,
you don't really, because a lot of the time with reserve grade, and you're in and out. It's not like there's not many players that are in reserve grade all year. Yeah. You're either a flag guy coming through that plays reserve grade, or you're a first grader that's on the fringe. That's sort of how it works. So for them to win the competition, it is great for the New South Wales Cup or the Queensland Cup, but then to come again and they try and make it this rivalry.
It's a nice idea in theory. I just don't feel it has the juice, but it's still nice
take
to have
the 3 games. I'm with you.
Exactly.
I'm with you.
What would you have instead?
Got a question. Isn't under 20s coming back this year?
I think that was.
Or does that get brushed?
I don't think that's been confirmed, but that would be great. I miss the 20s. The 20s would be great. The bright yellow ball. Got to have that back.
What a ball. I remember being in one of the first, what would you call it? I think it was a little ad.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
Do you remember it?
Oh,
what did you remember the punchline?
No. What was it? You were in it.
It was something like, "What's up, Toyota Cup?"
All right.
Or something like that.
I'm sure the sickos who live and breathe for the under 20s competition will know exactly what you're talking about. I once went to the grand final, just because Souths were in the 20s grand final.
Yeah, right.
2010. They got pumped by the Warriors. The Warriors team was amazing.
Wasn't that when Fishy R hit you?
That was that season, but it wasn't that game. That wasn't in the grand final.
That was
Tom Starling. Josh Starling knocked the ball out. Yeah,
that was unbelievable.
That made US sports.
That was everywhere.
That was crazy.
Love it.
But no, that wasn't the grand final. The grand final Warriors ran up a score, and then later that day, the Dragons won their first premiership in a very, very long time.
There you go.
But we don't need to talk about 2010 anymore. We need to talk about 2025. Where does this grand final rank for you? We don't want to be prisoners of the moment too early. I got to rewatch it a couple more times first, but I came away from that game feeling a lot like I did in 2023, where I went, wow, we just witnessed something very, very special. And 2 days later, I still feel that way.
I'm with you. I like watching the game again. I like watching the game, 2 more times, because the first time I'm going to lie, there was a couple of beers consumed. You miss 1 or 2 things. So now I like to get the real head on and watch it properly. But no, on a serious note, for me, what I take out of this is the Brisbane Broncos are a totally different team, and I'm happy to say that I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I always knew that they had the talent, all the talent in the world. Never ever did I think the Broncos couldn't win the grand final on talent, but did I think they could win it on toughness? No, I'm being honest. I'm saying I was wrong here.
Totally fair.
I was wrong here. To win 2 big games like that, 2 big games against the Penrith Panthers, who are just, we say the word dynasty, we throw it around. They stopped the dynasty. But then to beat a Melbourne Storm team that do grand finals for a living. Is that fair to say?
They've been in a lot of them.
They've been in a lot over this period of time. They know what it takes. It was unbelievable. The toughness that they showed as a team, in the toughness in big moments. And when I say toughness, I don't just mean, big hits. And I'm talking about throwing the ball, doing what they've done all year in key pressure moments, under duress, under the big lights, when they have been stopped before in a big game. Nathan Cleary, the Nathan Cleary masterclass. I'm sure we're going to talk about it later. Him and Reece Walsh, one of the best performances we've ever seen. But it was just unbelievable. I don't know what you think, mate, but I just did that. I don't see the Broncos as that tough team. And now, man, they can be rock stars. They can do whatever they want because they got a ring.
Absolutely. When it got to 26-22, I thought 1 more try for the Bronx and that would have broken the game clean open, but it didn't come. And then Papenhuyzen makes that break off the scrum. That's the first big chance, and they get a couple more chances later on. They've got the after the penalty where they go left and Coates gets thrown and touched by Staggs and Mariner. Great defensive by them. And then, of course, the last play of the game, which we'll break down in a little while as our defensive player of the week. But yeah, I think it's an immense credit to Brisbane because in the first 20 minutes of that second half, we saw what we've seen from Brisbane all year long, which was this one period of the game where they just go Super Saiyan and just kill you, right?
Yep.
But then that last 20 minutes, they were still active. They were still trying to go forward. They were still looking for offloads and trying to score tries and all that stuff. Even in their last attacking set, Payne Haas makes a great run, skittles 3 people, and then looks to offload. And then he remembers, oh, right, there's like 30 seconds left. I better just take the tackle.
Yeah.
But they didn't shy away from who they were. But you're right. They added in that defensive grit that wasn't necessarily something we would associate with them.
So who's brought this?
Michael Maguire.
You've thrown it out. That is definitely
I don't
interesting.
need any excuse to praise Michael Maguire, a born winner who, has succeeded everywhere he's gone, Tigers included, and is now one of the very few coaches to win competitions.
And you know what I also love? He drank the toilet water.
Mate, it was fantastic, wasn't it? I said,
good. I didn't forget you do it.
It was great.
Do you know what I love about it though, mate? Like, I don't even. You try and find words to explain how they've done this to the Melbourne Storm, because I look at someone like Paddy Carrigan, right? He would have felt like absolute crap letting his team down the week before, but the performance he put in, we're all worried. We all spoke about Payne Haas and Utoy Kamanu going up against each other, and those two guys still had very, very good, respectable games.
Yeah.
But Carrigan set the tone,
awesome.
mate. He set the tone and went after every single one in that pack, and they all followed him.
They did. Well,
they all followed him.
2 guys in their last game for now for the Broncos, Kobe Hetherington, Tyson Smoothie, great games as well. Smoothie, 20 great minutes off the bench, and Kobe Hetherington was one of their best forwards. I thought he was fantastic.
So this is what this is what I love about grand finals.
Unsung heroes,
the best, and I love it. And new age wingers. Look at the Broncos wingers, what they done. Like
the yardage.
Mariner
was their yardage leader of the team.
And we spoke about this last week. Those guys had to earn their spot because they have got a really, really good set of 4 wingers that could have easily played.
Look at the blokes that weren't playing. Jesse Arthur, Selwyn Cobbo. And
Jesse Arthur was in the picture for Origin.
Yeah.
But he didn't play in the grand final.
I know, it's crazy. And the depth they have, and that makes them hungrier because they know that there's so much competition for spots. I thought it was a fantastic performance. So a couple of years ago, during the offseason, Nick and I did a offseason sort of bracket with Scott Bailey, who's another journalist. We talked about the best grand finals of all time. We did look a little mini bracket. We got to the end and I think we settled on 15, 23, 03, 04, and maybe 16. There's a little bit of an outside. And 21, South Panthers as well. So those would be, off the top of my head, the best ones that I've seen. Where does this one rank for you right now? Because right now I've got it right up there with 23.
I'm going to say from where the Broncos have come from, and I know I'm sort of beating around the bush question was because you're asking about that exact game, but right now, same thing. I want to watch it again. But it's up there.
It's got to be.
It's got to be, and I just love that the Broncos just didn't go away from what they done week in, week out in this. Broncos, they looked abysmal mid-year. They looked terrible. Everyone. Ex-players were coming after the Broncos. Madge was getting tossed and asked, and Reece Walsh was this pretty boy that loves the big stage, but in big moments can't get it done.
Which was dumb then, and it looks even dumber now.
Like, come on, man. Yeah. And then these Broncos guys, and there's a little bit of tongue in cheek with their celebrations, but also boys like just I've seen about 400 videos of what they're doing, and just get off.
Payne Haas with a baseball bat, terrifying. Terrifying.
That shouldn't be happening. But no, they did. That's it. They did have the media, a lot of media outlets.
There's no bigger pressure
challenging
situation in the sport than playing for the Broncos if the Broncos aren't going good with that media up there and being now the Dolphins are kind of there, but like being a one-team town and having all that extra pressure. And I think that the guys like Hunt and Reynolds, those previous grand final heartbreaks in 2015, 2021, for most of the squad, all the guys were there in 2023. For a large chunk of that squad, that wooden spoon in 2020, that was the lowest point in the club's history. All of that can be brushed away now because of Sunday night.
You just spoke about Hunt and Reynolds. They weren't even on the field.
No, I know.
Which is...
Corey Pake's premiership winning halfback. Incredible.
Is it going to go down?
I'm going to keep saying it.
We will give it people defending out of position. Mate,
I think Pierre was out in the centers. They had
Smoothie was in the centers at one stage.
Was in the centers as well at one point.
We speak about it in the four walls of NRL clubs, of any rugby league club. In high pressure moments, stick to your principles and you'll be fine.
Yep.
And they've done this.
Yeah.
And no, because a lot of these guys wouldn't have been in these high pressure moments at training because Smoothie's never been in the centers, but he stuck to what they knew, And usually, if you watch games back, mate, I don't know which there's lots of games in the past couple of years when people lose not one half, both their halves. It goes to absolute shite.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Yeah.
Because people panic. What do we do? Renault's not here. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry. We got Benny Hunt. No. Benny Hunt's not here either.
Man, I remember 2012 prelims, South Bulldogs. Adam Reynolds did his hammy. They had to play Isaac Luke in the halves for half a game.
And me as a half, what do you on the other side? What do you think I do straight away?
Yeah, you were targeting. You were.
And who do you think? Melbourne Storm, one of the probably smartest spines in the game. Yeah, I will. I'll say they are the smartest spine individually. I really, they tried. They went after, but they didn't. The Broncos stuck to what they know, and that's why it's just such a good win. And then we haven't even spoken about Reece Walsh yet.
We will.
We've not spoken about this guy yet, man.
Yep. All right, we're going to speak about him.
Oh my God!
In a minute.
Okay, well,
yes.
are we going to move on, or let's talk about the Storm?
Yeah.
Where do you see the Storm at right now? 2 losses of grand finals in a row.
It's tough. I think they've lost 4 of the last 6 grand finals they've been in, which is incredible. But I mean, to get there in itself is an achievement. A lot of people think that they need to make a change. My esteemed co-host Nick Campton on our Monday show made the point that Siwa Falongo is contracted there for a very, very long time. And Ryan Papenhuyzen has been strongly linked with that rugby competition or whatever else. And there's a Perth team coming in.
What is it?
So, mate, who knows? Well,
You're not sold on it, are you?
I'm not at all. I don't. How much money would that offer you to come out of retirement? 10 million a season.
I'm not about the money, mate.
You're playing for the Miami Sharks or whatever they're called.
I'll do this for the love. I'm here for the love. I just want to talk about rugby league. All Tigers supporters are going, yeah, bull. Oh, no. That's not talking about me. But
sorry. But so Siwa Falongo is there for a long time, right? And he has to be a part of what they're doing in the future. You and I were talking just before we started recording about that very thing. So that might be something that they look to change next year. But, Munster and Hughes coming towards the back end of their careers, I think that there's a very big chance, given the profile of those guys, that at least one of those guys is like an inaugural Perth player, because Perth's going to have a lot of money to spend, and that is a great team to look at and go, well, we need some of this leadership from one of these guys, and they're all big names, big rep players. And so they're going to change something. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think that if people were betting on it, that would be the change, that there would be more Siwa Falongo next year.
That's it, mate. You've nailed it. There is no one else you change. Even I look everywhere. I actually looked across their team. The way they play, the style that they play, I'll call their wingers. Their wingers are big time. Their centers, Nick Meaney's just missed to fix it, and he's solid every single game. Howarth is a player. You don't need to change them at all. I'm looking at Munster and Hughes, 2 up there with top 2 or 3 halves. Easy. And then you go down. Their 2 props were brilliant. Big game. You're not even thinking about Harry Grant.
No, of course.
Back rowers.
Katoa's the best back row in the world, and Sean Blaw's no slouch.
Absolutely not. Yeah. And then Trent Liero
is Origin this year.
So you're not looking anywhere else but the fullback position. And look, let's be honest. And Paps would agree with me. He has signed short deals. I think he knows. I think Paps knows that. Maybe he got wind of this new competition. He knows there's more clubs coming in. And I just reckon, I've got a feeling that Papenhuyzen he wants a big deal. He wants to land a big deal. You always have to take unders at Melbourne, no matter who you are. Players have said it for years. You disagree?
Well, no, just except for that time when they were cheating the salary cap by millions of dollars.
Come on, mate. We're not bringing that back up. Sorry. Come on. No, you know what I'm saying? Players have took under.
Yeah, of course.
And I just think Papenhuyzen knows that, it could be his time. And I don't think he's a guy that's going to be like, oh, I really, really want to stay. I think he's okay with business decisions. He seems like a smart guy. So if anyone, Farlogo creates that little bit of X factor that they maybe need, they've got heaps. Yeah. But this guy he's a different beast.
He is.
So that could possibly be the only moving part I see, Matty.
Other than that, to me, it's like, they lost the grand final, but it's really hard to make grand finals. I know they're the Melbourne Storm and their standards are higher than everybody else's, but part of you goes, well, they made 2 grand finals in a row, and especially the second one. If like 1 or 2 players go differently, they win it. So
what do you got to do to win it? That's the only thing you got to think in, right? That's it. What's the piece of the puzzle that we're missing?
Stop Reece Walsh from making 500 amazing plays.
And how do you stop that? Yeah, but no, I'm just, and that's the thing as well. But the crazy thing is, it is so hard to get rid of Ryan Papenhuyzen as well, because last play of the game, who's there?
Yeah,
Ryan Pappenhausen backing up at the inside, one of the best you'll see.
We're going to talk about it in a second.
So, yeah.
All right. Before we do that, though, we're going to talk about a positive moment for the Storm in the first half of this game. The backline movement for the Nick Meaney try. I think there was some great footy played in the grand final. The Reece Walsh try was awesome, but there's not really a whole lot to break down. That was just him saying, "Give me the ball." Walsh. This was some great, very aesthetically pleasing shape from the Melbourne Storm.
Yep. If you play it here off the scrum, there's obviously a couple little setup plays here, but this is why the Melbourne Storm are always so methodical in what they do, because here straight away, if we pause it here, right, there is 1 retreating, 3 in the tackle because it's Utoi Kamanu.
Yep.
A nice drop play off the scrum to bring, the middle of the Brisbane Broncos a little bit tighter. So they see this straight away, and we play it here again. Pappenhausen is in there at hooker. But Harry Grant sees this straight away. They get another one, nice one into the spot here. When I say the spot, this is the spot where they look to set up this play again. But the Melbourne Storm do it better than anyone. A nice little drop, dummy drop, early pass. Stop it here. If we sort of stop it here, that's fine. It is so hard to do a pop play on the run. But Melbourne Storm back rowers, they must practice and practice and practice constantly. There is no reason here why the Broncos can't stop this play. The Broncos are not an aggressive side. They are very, very passive. But it just comes down to speed and Jerome Hughes knowing exactly when to give the ball to his fullback. So if we play it here, Pappenhausen, nice and early pass onto Meaney, and it's just everyone knowing their roles at the right times. That is what you call a nice setup play. You practice that at training. Sometimes it doesn't come off. Sometimes it does. But the Melbourne Storm know how to get it done from certain parts of the field. They would have seen something. They would have seen that Benny Hunt commits to the tackle. Even though in that one, he done a really good job of double D'ing. This is what Melbourne Storm do in big games. They pick you apart, and they're the best I've ever seen at set structured plays.
Katoa's involvement in that as well is just so good. He is unbelievable.
Mate, I promise that is a good half. Who's got great skill. It's hard to do that running at pace, because the thing is as well, you could be getting hit from the back, then you lose the ball. So a great setup play there from the Melbourne Storm on the big stage.
For sure. And then right at the end of the game, Reece Walsh already had a couple of great try-saving moments, but this was the biggest one of all.
Well, we spoke about it. The guy who passes the ball, Pappenhausen, as he does best. If we play it here, he backs up on the inside. But if we just sort of stop it right here. Sorry, let's play it a little bit more. Stop it right here. So it is so hard. It is so hard to be able to do this. Not many people. A lot of people in this position. We've seen it before in a couple of games where the fullback, he goes for the intercept. That's the sort of the only real play sometimes, because a lot of the time the NRL, if you're in the NRL, you're making a 2-on-1. But to be able to, Reece Walsh, he's still not even there. He's still on Katoa now. And the communication, I'm not trusting Ezra Mann to get Pappenhausen there. I'm not. I'm just not. He's too fast. But for Reece Walsh to make this decision and to be able to still make this tackle and win his team the grand final is the reason why he got, the man of the match on the field that day.
There's some people were saying Pappenhausen needed to be a step or so wider in support. What do you think about that?
For sure. But at the same time, Pappenhausen's probably done this exact play a million times. It's sort of where he comes from. If you see where he passes the ball, he sort of fades in. Could he have gone out? Absolutely. But you just got to take your hat off to Reece Walsh, because he come up with a few of these big moments.
The one where he forced Pappenhausen into throwing the flick pass when they made the break off the scrum as well. Instead of Pappenhausen just backing himself going for the corner.
Exactly. But we're not used to this from Reece Walsh.
No.
We think of Reece Walsh.
He's fearless, right, though. He'll throw himself into contact on anyone. He doesn't. Even on the trial we just saw with Meaney, he shot out and tried to get Meaney on that one. Meaney with a great swerve to get around him. He is completely fearless.
Can I just say this as well, Meaney? This will grow in his game. This will grow because but when Benny Barber was on early in his career, you couldn't stop him in attack. And that's what you couldn't do with Reece at the moment either. But then when he started stopping tries as well, that's when you start saying this bloke's elite. Yeah. Because you look at the likes of Billy Slater, they're attacking freaks, but they were the best at saving tries because they wanted it. When a player like that, even if it's not in a grand final or a big moment, if he's doing that for your team, mate, he's one of the best in the game.
Absolutely. Okay, so This is in light of me coming on this show last week and saying that the Broncos would win 26-22 and that Reece Walsh would get the Clive Churchill.
You're a freak.
I'm not. I'm just
just going to say you are.
I appreciate the kind words. What's the best prediction you've ever made? Doesn't have to be footy. It can be anything.
Well, I can't compare with yours.
Wait, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you got something.
Can I I wouldn't. Mine's not like a prediction, but I don't know. I've got some pretty good sporting multis before, but not in obviously not on rugby league. But I do consider myself a bit of a NFL freak. But honestly, I've never made anything like that.
I regret not. I don't really gamble anymore.
You don't gamble,
no.
And we figured it out before the show that we're looking at about odds of about
1,600 to 1 or something.
1,600 to 1. You have a lazy 5 on that.
It's best not to think about it.
Come on, man.
That's a whole overseas holiday paid for.
That is a lot of money, and you deserve that. But why? So I wouldn't have thought there was going to be that many points in it. Why did you think there was going to be that many?
Well, I think what I said on the show was that I thought that Melbourne don't necessarily get into shootouts, but they can if they need to.
Yeah.
And that I just don't think anyone can stop Brisbane scoring points when they feel like it. And that was really what it came.
Then that's all it was. But see, I just didn't. I was with you. I don't think Melbourne would have let it get to a shootout.
Yeah, which is
I thought they were going to strangle them a bit more. That's all.
Great game though.
It was actually unbelievable.
And,
but mate, some of the I just cannot believe you got not just one but two.
And my first try score, I scored the last try, so I almost got all three. Shibasaki.
Yeah, see, that would have been if you got all them three. That I wouldn't have even come in today.
Nah, that's fair enough.
But that is a one I made.
I'll never do that well again.
And that's the thing. My comparisons would be nowhere near that, so it's a bit embarrassing. But you should maybe you should be a professional punter.
Maybe it's not I was just playing poker for work for a few weeks out of high school. It's not a fun existence. I'm serious. It's not fun. Because when you take something you enjoy and then it becomes a job, it's not fun.
Next minute, I'm going to see at Warwick Farm races with a bookie's hat on.
Mate, the action's good there. We've got some listener questions. Andy from Armidale. Can you recap the best individual grand final performances you've ever seen apart from Walsh? And did any of them not win the Clive Churchill? So I think we can take this time to talk some more about Reece Walsh as well. But before we do, what are some other of the best of the best? So on our other show last week, we made a best 17 ever of grand final performances. And Nathan Cleary was the halfback, and he right now would rank third best for me. And then the top two I've got right now, Walsh and Luke Prittis in 2003, which to me still remains the best I've ever seen a guy.
Yeah.
Mate,
go back and watch it. I can't go past Cleary, mate.
Yeah, of course.
I really can't. And maybe recency bias, but man, he won that grand final by nearly by himself. He had people around him that done their job. Don't get me wrong, he went insane.
That's the best 20 minutes of footy anyone will ever play. But the reason I still go with Prittis and maybe Walsh as well is because they were 80-minute performances. And the highs of Cleary are untouchable. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Go back and watch 03 again. Luke Prittis. Yeah,
I will. I'm gonna do that so that's your best.
We made him the captain of our 17 when we were.
Because that was a 17. Yeah, nice.
We had Mason in there in 04. Sam Burgess 14 up there. Andrew Fafita 2016 didn't get the Clive. That's my answer for best performance who didn't get.
Who did get the Clive?
Luke Lewis, who was great, but there were some political reasons why Andrew Fafita didn't get the medal that night. We don't need to go into them.
Oh right, okay.
I don't remember. There was all the
yeah. But still, he should have.
He was the best player on the field. Well, yeah. And then the couple, I don't know, like Jake Granville in 2015. I thought he was fantastic. Yeah. The night Thurston got it, but Tamalolo in that game as well.
Very hard for Thurston not
hard.
to get
and the popular one I think for listeners in our age bracket, Ben Kennedy 0-1. People say Ben Kennedy was the best player on the field in that game, to the point where apparently on the Mad Monday when Joey was wearing his Clive Churchill medal, there were a few of the blokes were apparently saying to him, when are you giving BK back his medal?
I love that.
Yeah, I love it too.
Yeah. So, and then you definitely could be doing that after 4,000 beers.
Correct. Who you got?
I'm going Nathan.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm actually going Nathan for the period, I know it's only a short period, but no, because belief.
Yeah.
I think belief's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think in rugby league, young kids out there, anything. If you back your skills and your everything under duress in the big moments, you can always come out on top. It's a bit of a cliche, and everyone always says that, but that exact moment and that clinical masterclass of what I've seen in a grand final.
Oh yeah.
To do that was the best I've seen.
Haven't we been blessed with a few of the recent grand finals?
Unbelievable, but mate, same time, like Reece Walsh, man. Like
so you're gonna watch it again before you.
I'm gonna watch your one. I'm getting to really watch on, but at the same time with Reece,
you gotta let it cook for a bit.
But I'm also just want to praise because he was tough, man.
He was so tough.
He was tough.
Yeah.
Not something I associate Reece Walsh with. And not saying like I'm just talking about the little things in
even the first
games.
try, he gets whacked and hold on to the ball and then throws the pass out to Mariner.
Unbelievable. Like it's just they're the things that you know he you expect him to grow in that because it's sometimes you're not used to it. In the end, like if you're not a guy that wants to carry the ball back all the time, we've seen fullbacks throw the ball to their wingers and use their wingers, and Reece can do that too because he's got some wingers that they're meter eaters.
Yeah.
But he said to me, nah, especially in the last game, even in the prelim.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
First 2 carries straight through the teeth of I think it was Martin and Leota.
Fearless.
Where like that is.
Yeah,
that you pick that up, and mate, if he starts playing like that, he will be the best in the game.
Yeah, and real quick, people, he should have been sin bin. Give it a rest. Just enjoy the positives of the sport. So many negative people,
always
complaining about stuff.
Something.
So, do you have anyone that didn't win the Clive Churchill that stands out to you?
Who got the Clive Churchill? Was it Cherry Evans that got it in the losing
2013,
team?
Yes.
Who'd they play against?
Roosters. So I thought Sonny Bill and Jennings were both awesome in that game.
Oh, Jennings.
And
that's the one
Sam
I was thinking
Mower
about.
as well.
No.
Michael Jennings?
Yeah, man. But insane. Don't get me wrong, Cherry Evans. But it's I just feel you've got to be brilliant in a losing team. Yeah. I really do.
That was a weird one, wasn't it?
Jennings was, mate.
Anytime it goes for a losing
team, he was on fire. They couldn't stop him.
Yeah. Who would have got it, do you reckon, if Pappenhausen streaks away and scores that try? Hughes? Eli Katoa?
Katoa.
I reckon Katoa. He was fantastic.
Oh, man. But he was one of their best. One guy that as well, they've been into him. The Bronx have. Utoi Kamanu.
Yep.
He had a big game.
Mate, it was good. Yeah, he talked it up and he wasn't quiet. They came out on the losing end, but he played tough.
I love their 1-2 punch of him and King.
King played the whole first half. But he looked a bit gassed when his second stint, it was only like 7 minutes or something.
But that's what they needed from him.
Yeah.
That first
40, he was great. He was smashing people.
He's usually the strangler, right?
Awesome.
Like he's the one that usually holds the middle. And this is the thing. Like we're talking about this. Like the Melbourne didn't even play bad.
No,
Broncos and that's what the Broncos.
I always come back to this a little bit, man. Like when we were sitting in the press conference and someone asked Bellamy, what do you have to change and all this stuff? And I always kind of feel like when two teams play. If two teams play each other, they could both play absolutely perfectly. One of them still has to lose.
Yeah.
So
you don't have to always change stuff.
Yeah.
A couple of little tweaks that you're gonna. But that's the thing. Like, yeah, you're right. That's a good point. You don't have to change anything. You just got to be better in little moments. That's it.
All right, Joe from Footscray. So can you talk about how teams reallocate roles when injuries happen? Is it planned or made up on the fly? So this is relevant to, as you said before, when a team loses a half, or in this case, both halves.
Yeah. You can't plan for that.
No.
That is like.
Do you have any vivid memories of when you were playing, when someone went down and suddenly you're playing hooker or you're playing out in the centers or anything?
I was always the guy when I was young.
Play a lot of positions
because I was utility. So even in if I ever played any rep honors, I was always a utility. So I had to learn multiple positions, which is hard.
Yeah,
it actually really is hard, mate. And look, that's why you're in the team. But you got to be good. You got to be a good defensive center, even if you're a half. Because that's why you're in the team, and if not, there'll be someone else knocking down the door. So it always was hard, and I always felt if there was something that did happen in the game, even when I was at the Bulldogs, I was one that moved a lot into hooker or whatever. But yeah, you plan for a couple with your 14, but sometimes it's hard. Like when a winger goes down, torture.
There was a stat, I don't know if it's still the case now, but there was a stat a couple of years ago when any team that lost an outside back in the first half of games, their win percentage was like 1 in 10.
There you go. Like because it's obviously you got
a back row playing center, a center playing wing, and it all.
Yeah. And then you get some back rows that can do it, like the Chans. He done some really good work this year.
Angus Crichton.
They can, but then you get the out and out back rowers.
Sorry, I wish I did a good job on Sunday. By the way,
yeah, I agree.
He did well,
but at the same time, that's where it's hard because he's not a center. Is he gonna be solid for you? Absolutely, but is he gonna do the things that he probably usually does coming off the bench at different positions? Probably not. So you plan for it. That's why 14 is so important and. 14 that's not just a backup hooker anymore. Well, Tyrone Wishart's the perfect example.
Yeah,
and not saying he had a bad game or no slouch, but he's the perfect example of someone you want to be in a position where he was, right? Yeah. Because if you put who plays two hookers these days? Well, I don't know, the Tigers, Appy Coruscant, and De Silva, possibly when he was there. Yeah. He's not there anymore, but
when he was.
When he was, yeah. You got to put Appy into the you got to put Appy in the centers or the half. It's just so hard. It's probably a bad example, but
such a boost when he signed with them because he was coming off the bench every week.
Absolutely,
just giving them a punch through the middle, but he could also play other positions if they needed him to. So,
and that's where, like, even like someone who has played in a position before, like a Dylan Walker, like he probably hasn't got the same speed.
Yeah,
but if there was that's why versatility in a team is so good.
We were saying on Friday on the other show, like, how much money would Sean Berrigan make today?
Oh my
being
God.
able to play like 5 positions at an elite level,
unbelievable. Like, and I reckon coaches these days, the way the game's going with the HIAs and everything, you might have a young guy that's coming through that might be a gun, but then you've got a guy that's not as good in one position, but he's better at 3 or 4. Who you picking?
It's a great question.
Don't you reckon?
Yeah, well, it's why Kurt Mann's been so valuable for the Bulldogs because he can do so many things.
Mate, how about his effect in the Bulldogs team?
Yeah.
But not only because of, he played 13, like he just takes your team to a different level because that's why the Bulldogs, when he signed all those players, Cerrado, like everyone was like, oh, why would you sign a bunch of utilities? Well, the way the game's going, I wouldn't mind to fill them in my team week in, week out.
Very true. Joe's also asked, should everyone in the playing group get a ring or should it always be just in the 17?
Nah, I was talking about this with my mate the other day. More like, I'm just going to say an example because he's one of my really good mates.
Yep.
If Bronson Garlic.
Yep. Come to South next year.
You're coming to South. Good signing. Good signing. You better be nice to him.
I'm always nice to anyone that puts on the red and green.
But no, honestly, like, there's okay. So the way I look at it is, if Harry Grant was out for a while, and if Bronson Garlic didn't do a good job in that, do they still get to where they are? Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. But I just think there's got to be more people that do get it. Like maybe play a certain amount of games.
Well, that's how I think it works in the Premier League. You got to play like 5 games and you get a Premier League winners medal if you're in the Premier League or something. But it's like the idea that Isaac Luke didn't get a premiership ring in 2014, or that had the Bulldogs won, Michael Ennis wouldn't have got one. Like,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I've always felt that.
Like, that's ridiculous. Like, come on. Yeah. Like these guys, like, they're having a big impact. There's got to be, you got to play a certain amount of games, and I feel that there's got to be some sort of criteria. But like, I look at that and go, man, like he got them to where they will help them to get to where they are. So just because he didn't play in the big game in the grand final,
okay, so we're on the same page on this.
Yeah. What number do you reckon?
I don't know about could you give it? Yeah, maybe I feel like everyone is it top 25 or top 30 now? It's top 30 now, right? I think maybe everyone should get one.
But even if you don't play a game,
I don't know, because it's like,
I think you got to play.
You got to play a game.
I'm gonna say a game.
Okay, but what about everyone who didn't? Like, did the staff and like the auxiliary staff get like a different ring maybe? I love that in NFL teams, like everyone that is associated with the club gets a ring. Mate, like the people that work in like the media department get rings. The cooks get rings. Everyone gets a ring. It's a team effort.
Well, no, it is because I work upstairs now, sponsorship things.
So if they win the comp next year, you'll get a little ring. Perfect. Yeah, under my system. Under your system.
Yeah. Finally get one. Yeah. No, but I just think it's like it is a real team. Maybe not the same ring as the players.
Like
let's take that away. But,
take a couple of diamonds out of it.
Yeah. No, I'll stick with
just 5 games.
5 games. Okay. I'm happy with that because you've had an impact on the season. But yeah, that's just the way I actually had this conversation. Because
it's an ongoing one. It's really interesting that people feel very strongly one way or the other. Warwick from Brisbane says, fellas, it seems like the grand finals keep getting better and better. At what point are we redlining and hit a regression, or is it just going to keep going? So we're getting I feel like every second year we're getting a good grand final. Like 2021 was 19 was really good as well. That's the Raiders Roosters one. 21 was awesome. That's the South Panthers. 23, enough said. And then last night. And then 24 wasn't great. 22, Para got smashed up a bit by Penrith. 2020. I know it ended up being a 6-point game, but the Storm were up 26-0 in that game. Yeah. 2018 was over after 20 minutes. You know what I mean? So it feels like every second year lately we're getting a good grand final.
Yeah.
So that means next year's one's going to suck.
Nah, it can't.
It'll be good.
How can it be?
We're in a really good position right now with the quality of the teams.
Well, you look at just look at the teams and the growth. Like let's look at a couple of the bottom teams that were looking really good towards the back end. The Parramatters, like Iongi, another preseason, and they're getting their vibe set. You get all your Souths get all their players back.
Well, you say that, but
no, we'll say you do.
I'm just going to until further notice. I'm just going to assume that South will continue to have like 10 players.
Say that. You can't say that.
It's been 3 years.
Come on, do it. One more time. No, they'll be back. They'll be thereabouts. The Dolphins, they finally break their hoodoo.
Can they break in?
Not that it's a hoodoo, but mind you, I'm not saying Dolphins have been a brilliant
But they
finally
setup. Get through.
They finally get them. If they don't lose all their pack,
no,
and leaders,
they were ravaged by injuries as well.
They're in.
Yeah,
I guarantee you they're in. I really think they do.
Yeah.
So there's just off the top of my head, there's 3 genuine ones.
There's no one you look at the moment. It's not like even like when you were playing, and even the generation before that, like the early 2000s, there was always a few teams just making up the numbers. Yeah. And that's not trying to be disrespectful.
No, it's just the way it was. Yeah.
Whereas this, now I kind of feel like it doesn't matter who's playing who. Like no result is really off the table.
Okay, so let's be a bit honest here. Yep. The Titans are in a very big rebuilding phase, and they need some artillery. They need to change a lot that's going on at that place. But who else can you really say that's not nowhere near the mark at the moment?
Yeah, well, who came? So the Knights probably.
But let's just say the Knights.
Maybe Manly without Cherry.
Nah.
You reckon they're going to be all right?
Manly's still got strike, mate.
Okay.
It's got turbo in their team.
That's true.
Luke Brooks. I'm still. No. I'm very, very confident with Manly. They got some outside backs. They need some, more beef up. Paseka comes back.
That's true.
When they lost him, he was huge. I don't. The Knights. I just think the Knights sort out their halves merry-go-round finally.
Yeah, if they could get Pezzett, that would be pretty.
That's where I was going with that.
But
they get Pezzett with Dylan Six.
It'll be at the moment because they've signed Sanders Smith, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be at the moment. Smith and Brown is pretty. It's not bad.
No,
you need a 7. You need an out 7.
I don't think he's a 7. I love Smith as a 6.
Do you think he's going to play 9 or 14?
I think he'll play 9 or 14. Right. Crossland's tough to kick off the 9.
Yeah,
been really good. They just got to get it right. And it's hard because they've been trying for years, mate. For years. Did you hear what, like, the one that I possibly threw out there? I'd say I half stole of Hoz, Justin Horror.
Yeah.
Pulling a half back.
They did the 5'8" thing. It didn't work.
Yeah, but just give him a go. He wants a challenge. He wants to go to rugby. He wants to do all this stuff. Give him a go.
All right.
Sharp at the back.
That's the other thing, because Sharp's so good, but having the 2 fullbacks in the team just doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think the comp is at a very high standard at the moment, is the point. And Nick from Camden, who is my regular co-host when you're not here, says, Josh, please talk me through every detail of your premiership winning assist for Jono Wright and tell me the best yarn from the 2011 New South Wales Cup premiership celebration.
Oh, my God. I don't know if we can
beat the Vulcans.
The Vulcans.
Remember they were the Vulcans. Yeah.
Oh, man, that was just Jono Wright was. I feel we really understood each other on the field.
Yeah.
Like for no like.
What about off the field?
Even better.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because we both enjoyed having a lash.
Yeah.
no, but he just because like I wasn't a very direct player. I drifted across a lot, and there's not many players that understand when to sort of cut across, cut under, and he just always. I just felt he always felt it, and that was it in that grand final. Like
so I done 28-26 with 30 seconds left.
28-26, 30 seconds to go, and that's it. What I used to just drift across field, I'd just wait for someone to bite. But sometimes like I'd come to a dead end and like don't ask Josh Jackson about this. He used to laugh his head off. He'd go like, "Where are you going? Like you can't drop the winger. You're going in the touch." But that's what it was. Like I think I got to, I tried to dummy the half and he didn't come. So then, I'm going overs, and then I just feel the center like slowly come at me a little bit, and then Jono just at that 1 second drops under, and that's sort of all it took. And yeah, I just felt we had a really good understanding.
Who else was in that team that people might know?
Who did we have? Michael Lett.
Yep.
Speed.
Yeah.
Speed to burn. We had a really good few years of I won 2 comps in a row in New South Wales Cup. Justin Holbrook was our coach.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I never really understood why he hasn't he's got a really good record, but I think he's up there with all the best coaches. Understood he's a half. He's good for me. He helped me a lot with my game when I was younger. But we had some tough players, like mate. I'm talking like the Brad Morans of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you know the best thing about those teams that I was a part of, mate? And this is why I think it's a Bulldog thing, and the players that want to represent the Bulldogs rather than themselves go further at the club. Like we did guys like Brad Moran come back, that Trent Cutler. I'm not sure if you remember Trent, like the likes that, they probably could have been playing first grade, but they just weren't making that side. But when they come back, they didn't think they were too good for anyone. And I just think that is a dynamic that the best New South Wales Cups have, the teams have, because it's like we all want the same thing. We all want to be playing first grade. Don't get me wrong, but hey, let's have fun here. And we done that, and we also had some really good times off the field. That 2011, like, yeah, it was on. It was on for young and old. That's the early days of, there's not many phones flying around yet. There's no one peeping through the holes trying to look at what we're doing. And
well, we haven't had. It's Tuesday at this point. We haven't had any atrocities yet. So
yeah, no, just people. Stop looking for it.
I think maybe I also do think that a part of it is the average fan doesn't really care. I think the average fan is like, yeah, the boys are on the piss. Who cares?
The one last week, the Toby Rudolph one's stupid.
What happened?
Well, they're doing like video of the Rudolph doing karaoke at a pub or something.
What song was he singing? That's the only thing I care about. I'll find it.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was the song choice.
Toby Rudolph does not have the vocal range for this song. What a disgrace.
Oh, man. I just used to think, man, we are so scrutinized for so long. Yeah. Just let us have a day.
Let the boys play.
Let us have a day. Let the boys play. Don't do anything stupid and whatever, but just even the trade-off of, the media are going to be here, so blah, blah, maybe just let us have a day where we don't want to really talk. Sometimes we don't want to talk.
No.
Because I can't talk.
Just put the phones away.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Put the phones away. All right. Our last grub of the week for the year. This was amazing. At the end of the NRLW game, which we can talk about a little bit as well, because it was a fantastic game. Brilliant. And a great advertisement for the women's game. Alia Narcio has been sent straight to the judiciary for her striking charge. But the photo taken by Cameron Spencer of Getty Images is absolutely amazing. So, I mean, the foreground itself is art.
It's beautiful.
Because it was after the siren, the Broncos staff have clearly run on the field, filmed the celebrations and stuff. And you can see the joy in this Broncos staffer's face in the right-hand side. She is so happy to be out there with the phone.
Does she know the fight's on?
I guess not, because her player is getting punched square in the face.
Oh, man. This is just and look, we're not, we have to say that not condoning fighting.
We don't have to say that.
I mean,
you can condone. You're allowed to condone.
But, it's just and people say, oh, what a sore loser, what a this and what a that. But, man, this is a grand final. It is hard to get here. And sometimes you have that feeling. You want to punch someone in the face.
I love it because
they beat you.
I love one of the articles I read was Narcia was handed a grade 3 striking check, having been accused of landing a punch. Because innocent until it's before the judiciary. You can't say, mate. Look. When I used to work in general news at the paper, doing actual crime stuff, you have to say alleged no matter what.
You're saying this is a crime? Or?
No. I'm saying you had to say alleged no matter what. I know. Even if there was a video of someone, you could have video of someone stealing something from a 7-Eleven or something, but you still have to write the alleged thief in the article about it, even if you literally had a video of it until they go to the courts. So I guess they're just.
I wonder what was said. I would love to know what was said.
Yeah.
Because is it just she's just literally got over losing, or was there a little someone? Did I say?
Well, Narcio was the one that hit Brigginshaw the play before as well.
So maybe
Robinson had a word to her.
Yeah, and she's just said, you know what, not on my watch, but hey,
I thought it was awesome. I love the passion.
What about the Broncos trifecta?
Mate, yeah, almost.
I hate to see it.
Burley. They would have made it 3 from 3 on the day.
That could have been a big quaddie.
Wait, who's the trifecta there?
Really?
What are you talking
about? I know we're in rugby league, but AFL,
sorry.
Come on, man.
Yeah, sorry.
On a card or you okay?
All right, man. Jesus. A great couple of weekends for Brisbane. But yeah, this game I thought was fantastic. At the start, the Broncos were really on top, and I thought they were going to sort of just go away with it a little bit. But the Roosters, that second half blitz they came up with, interesting wrinkle. They switched the half and the fullback around after the HIA, and then didn't, even though she came back on, they didn't go away from it. They kept doing what was it. They kept Corbin Baxter at fullback, and it almost paid off.
Speaking about competitions and whatnot, I just don't hope, because the Broncos and the Roosters are so far ahead.
Yes, so this is the problem.
This is the only problem, right?
This is the issue. So we were very positive about talking about it last week because it was the grand final. We want to talk the game up in grand final week, but I am legitimately a little bit concerned about the future of the women's game because of the fact that these two teams are so well run. They're great clubs, great coaches. Just great systems, all that stuff. But a part of that is that there's sort of this acceptance that these two teams will always be among the competition heavyweights. And they'll always have a bunch of the top players. And that's fine if you've got 6 teams or 8 teams, and then the rest of the talent is concentrated within those other 6 teams or other 4 teams or whatever you've got. But now that there's 12 teams, and we're going to accept that these 2 teams are always going to have heaps and heaps and heaps of good players, there's now 10 teams fighting for the rest of the talent. And now you've got Jesse Southwell, who is, one of the best players in the game.
She's up there.
Apparently, all but certainly going to the Broncos next year as well. And you think,
but why?
Yeah,
no, sorry, not for Jesse Southwell. Like she wants to be a winner,
of course.
But there's got to be a way. We've got to do something. Otherwise, it's
and you can't even do like a points system or anything because then you've got players like, Tegan Berry, for example, didn't play Origin this year. She'd be like a 1-point player, which is insane because Tegan Berry's awesome. So like, I don't exactly know.
I reckon you can come up with something.
I'll try.
This is your arena.
All right.
I reckon.
You've got a whole off season to work it out.
Yeah, you got a whole. I reckon you can come
back
up with
in
something.
March and we can.
But then at the same time, if you're getting like a cut of it, like if you get paid, I just want a little bit.
Oh mate, no, you can be my Kawhi Leonard. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Job. Who's this guy? Why is he on the payroll? Oh, he's my special assistant. Don't worry about what he does. Yeah. He does plenty. He does plenty.
Behind the scenes.
All right, that's it. It's our last show.
Wow, is that really? That's it. We're done.
I think this week definitely because there's no footy this week.
Remember last week was scrapping.
Well, we weren't.
We got another show next week, boys.
We didn't know. Now we do know.
Now we don't.
Well, even this show was extended because they got so much good feedback. Everyone's been very kind. All the feedback we've got.
Actually, why don't you tell? Talking about Reece Walsh being hot. Someone gave you or us a rap in the sheds?
Oh yeah, I think in the sheds after the game. One of his family members, Jai, said he loved the podcast. So that was nice.
This is real good feedback.
And yeah, had plenty of good feedback from people who've listened to the regular show, and long-time listeners who've been with us since the start, and of course all the new viewers that you've brought in as well.
Beautiful.
So
I've had fun, mate. Thanks for accepting me. I felt very accepted within these 5 walls. It's usually 4 walls.
Yeah, 5 today. But so hopefully we're back in 2026.
Let's go, man.
Yeah, all things
love to.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, bro.
All right.
Love
say
it.
goodbye, Josh.
See you guys. Last time.
And it's goodbye from me.